pick, and this is actually a post hole digger. You'll never want to know what those are. Those are post hole diggers, and then it's welded all together to make a image of what do you see here? Yes,
a man?
Yep, a man. And Chad had a problem with this man because he had too much power. So that's the story behind that one. And a lot of what we do has inner meaning behind it, and a lot of it doesn't. So, you know, you'll have to find out that for yourself. This is a more modified assemblage where we've manipulated some of the found articles so that we can use them in this image. Does this remind you of any cartoon character? Who powers a car by running? Who? Very good, the Flintstones, one of my favorites. So that's where the idea comes from, these guys. And I do these occasionally, and I like doing it. And this piece is called mixed media, and that's because we're using two types of material. We're using metal and we're using wood. And the time I spent over in Hawaii, I started doing driftwood art, and I really enjoyed it. And so when I got back here, I found a place where I could find driftwood quite readily. And what's the secret behind driftwood? Nobody knows. Yes, sir.
It drifts in and it's easier to nail in because it stops the wood.
Well, you got some right answers there. But the secret behind driftwood is how close can you get your pickup to it? Because it's real heavy and hard to manipulate. And we get pickup loads of it when we go. What else? Marketing. Marketing's a real tough one, and it's a real hard one for a lot of artists that are even established. Marketing can be very tricky because, number one, you have to be in the right community, the community that can afford your art. And if you want to be successful, your art's going to be expensive because you have to pay for the time you spent on it. So we go to street fairs that are all over California, mostly the Bay Area. We used to go to LA quite a bit, but even that, we don't go there because the economy, the gasoline prices, hotel rooms, all those are expenses when we're on the road. You know, it's not like we can take our home with us, so we have to pay for room and board when we're on the road, and we take that into consideration when we go to sell art. So most of our marketing is done in the Bay Area, and we are direct sellers. We go to the festivals, and it's very, very fast, spontaneous. People come, if they like the art, they buy it right there, and we deliver it or they take it. Okay, and the other type of marketing is the gallery system. And the gallery system is okay, but galleries take 50 to 70% of your retail value. So artists, you know, I consider galleries storage units for me because I don't like to sell a whole lot wholesale. And so that's the other way of marketing. And then well, I guess Craigslist, you know, or eBay is part of it nowadays.
Well, also public commissions. My father and I, we've done over 30 public commissions throughout many states. And as you drive around town, you can actually view quite a few of our public commissions in this community. One, for example, is at City Hall, in Fairfield and in Suisun. I created the stainless steel windmill when I was 20 years old with a good friend of mine that I met in art college, Alex Nolan. And we're honored and humbled to have received that commission. And it's there to represent the last 100 years of the agricultural history in Solano County. And Fairfield is the seat of the county. So Also, going back to my own personal heritage, being a fifth-generation farmer, it was an honor to be able to represent what's taking place out here in this rural land.
And a windmill, in case you don't know, we have one on the property, and it's right over there. You'll see it's a big mill that turns, and it's an agricultural icon, and that's why Chad and Alex chose that image.
Yeah, we can't forget where we came from. And hopefully in the future, it's that sculpture's there to remind us to keep this land rural as possible and preserve the countrysides that we do have. And that is the importance of art. Art is very significant. It's how we can learn about the past. And also, why is art important? Anybody? Storytellers. Yes. Art is the ultimate form of individualism. Now, individualism is an identity of our own personal self. And in that sense, with art, it started with creative thinking. Now, can anybody tell me when creative thinking started? It started with our ancestors over 2.5 million years ago with Homo habilis. And they started making flake tools. Now, this is the first form of creative thinking ever taking place on this planet. And if all we ever did was conform, we would still be using these flake tools and not know anything else. So individualism is so important for evolution and creative thinking to take place for innovations, whether it be technology, using your phone, whether it be architecture, whether it be the things that your parents do. There's creative thinking taking place all the time. And I urge you to always stay inspired and express yourself in any artistic form possible. And that's one thing my father taught me when I was a very, very young little dreamer, was to always be in that studio creating. And it's a work ethic. You know, you can't make a living as an artist and not have a solid work ethic. And he's in the studio 7 days a week. There's no excuses here.
It's so funny to hear you say that. But yeah, you know, if you can only imagine how much I work and the results of it are all around you. The other thing that's really important to us is where we get our stuff. And California is full of stuff, let me tell you. Richmond, which is by San Francisco, all the steel in California and the West kind of goes to the coast. You know why? Why does it go to the coast? You have all the answers. No, steel don't float. Good try though, but it does float when it's on a boat, and that's what happens to it. It all comes to Richmond and the Bay Area and gets ground up and gets on a boat and it floats to China. So all steel kind of works its way to Richmond. So there's all kinds of yards around here, junk yards, that we go to that try to make as much money as they can off the steel before it goes to China. So as far as picking for steel, there's a lot for us just because of our location. We have a great yard north of Woodland in the middle of nowhere, and it's a farmer that just started buying everybody's boneyards, and he has 40 acres of steel. And so Chad and I take the big truck up there and we buy a lot from him. And then American Canyon has a steel mill and we go there. And then I have junkies that actually bring stuff to me, and I like that a lot because they know what I want, and usually they're fairly reasonable dudes. So I have a lot of friends in low places, so to speak, and that's a song and a joke, guys. Too fast for you today, huh? So we have to buy everything you see here, and as you go on the tour, you'll see our junkyard, and we are pretty selective in what we bring home. Otherwise, this place would be full of all kinds of steel. So we recycle the really, really bad stuff, and of course we recycle the good stuff in the form of sculpture. Got anything?
You know, the main thing too is why we do what we do is because it makes us happy. And, you know, it's our way of expressing ourselves and uplifting humanity and society. And more than ever with the things that are going on in our economy, people and individuals in our society are looking for things that uplift their spirits, something that they can rely on for a smile. And with our whimsical sculptures, it has definitely been a great source for individuals out there to find a happy place. And this is our happy place, and I hope you all can have a happy place and, you know, nurture it. And anything else, Dad? Questions? Anybody?
There must be questions.
Well, what's one way we learn? Anybody? Asking questions. Yes.
How long does it take for like one sculpture?
Oh, Dad and I are fairly prolific. Who knows what prolific means? It means very fast. We're productive. And it's just like playing an instrument, creative thinking. This is deliberate creative thinking. So, you know, the more you practice, the better you get. We're usually working around on 5 or 6 sculptures at a time. And it all depends on the materials we have for the ideas. So sometimes an idea can take up to a few years until we find the right materials. So it's just about having patience and being persistent. Yes, next question.
How old is that? That one with the rock?
This one here?
Yeah.
Most of the pieces are dated. So this piece here is 4 years old. And it's a mixed media with stainless steel, pumice stone, and mild steel.
See how heavy that is?
It's really heavy.
Pretty light, huh? This is pumice stone. It comes from Mount Shasta area, and I have a guy that looks for larger stones for me up there.
Question? That one, I think that was about it. Dad had the idea for quite a few years collecting all the...
Hey guys, listen to the question. 4th grade.
There you go. Let me.
Green, actually through...
What's your favorite sculpture that you've ever created out here?
It's about the inner child in our heart.
Do you have a favorite?
Lives. So we constantly are trying to stay naive as possible.
My favorite sculpture, well, I always say my favorite ones are the ones that sell. So, I have probably a couple dozen that are around here because all my sculptures are here now except for the ones that are in galleries. So there's a couple dozen sculptures that are in my private collection. Any other questions?
Oh, well, let's move on, and I want everybody to stay on the pathway, the gravel roads. Please no climbing on sculptures, and ask questions.
Sure. Good.
From a ranch up in